Infection control is the discipline concerned with preventing nosocomial infections. Nosocomial infections are hospital-acquired infections that you get in the hospital. That's not only limited to patients, but their friends and family that come to visit them there as well. Infection control is often overlooked in the hospital because many people think it's up to the hospital employees to keep everything sanitized and disinfected. Well, that's not the case at all because everyone spreads germs. There's a few things that we can do as a team to prevent the spread of these infections. CDC research shows that over 772,000 people catch nosocomial infections from the hospital each year. That breaks down to about 1 out of every 25 patients. One solution I have is hand washing. That keeps the spread of germs to a minimum at all times. It's very important to do, especially if you know the proper techniques, which is about 20 seconds scrubbing with soap and water, warm water. I also learned that sanitizer works just as good as washing if soap and water are not available. I think that posting flyers around the hospital of the proper way of hand washing will inform many of our patients and their families of its importance. You know, it can decrease the spread of something as small as a common cold. Another way to prevent nosocomial infections is by getting your regular vaccines. Many people nowadays think, because the U.S. doesn't have things like the measles and diseases like that, that we don't need those vaccines. Well, we really do because of international travel and people going natural that aren't getting their vaccines that they should at all. International travel brings back a lot of many foreign diseases that we need to prevent the spread of here. In the hospital, you see all sorts of patients, so you never know what someone is carrying. The third major thing is to wear your protective gear. Protective gear consists of, goggles, facial masks, gloves, and entire body suits sometimes. But usually the entire body suits are not used unless you're dealing with someone who's been exposed to a disease such as the measles. Most of the hospitals will give you the proper protective gear that you need upon being seen in the triage or by the nurse. Most time nowadays at the reception area, they will put out a basket with facial masks that say, please take one if you're coughing or sneezing to prevent the spread of seasonal illnesses such as the common cold or the flu. But if you feel like you didn't receive something that you know you need in the hospital, feel free to ask because we will give it to you. But preventing the spread of germs is our main concern working in the hospital. If we all act as a team, we can prevent the spread of these serious infections and keep them all to a minimum. Germs will always be around, but only we can prevent them by doing these 3 simple tasks.